What's going on, everybody? Evan here at Evans Detailing and Polishing. We got Tyrese Petrie, Mr. at Daryl from Evans here in the shop today. I wanted to try out this live on YouTube anyways, and it's funny. Ty just started buffing. We just started letting him run a grinder here in the shop, and we've kind of been letting him do these flat face boxes on his own. A lot of learning goes down when you're doing stuff on your own. But I want to kind of show you something. Been trying to think of a way to make a video about this for a long time and haven't really had a good way to make a video about this until I just saw it right now. So as you can see, Ty right here, super frustrated, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty mad.
He's been struggling with this box all morning.
Like an hour.
Been easily an hour that he's been working on this box.
Just on this side.
On just this side, yeah. So I'm going to zoom in here and kind of show you what he's frustrated with. So if you can see this right there, try to zoom in, let it see if it focuses. Ah, there it is. You guys see those pigtails? It's really hard to see through the camera. Oh, there it was. It focused in for like a second. Really struggling seeing it here. Because it's trying to focus on the ceiling. Ah, there it is. See it? See all those pigtails? So the question is, what was your question?
How do you get them out?
So the first question is, what grits did we use?
Well, I use 320, 400, 600.
All right. So if we use 320, 400, and 600, we know it's at least 320, 400, or 600 grit pigtails.
Yep.
Now, if they were 600 grit pigtails,
They wouldn't show as much.
no, if they were 600 grit pigtails, isn't 600 where we stop the polish?
Yes.
Okay, so at 600 grit, they would buff clear out,
Yeah.
right?
Yes, it would.
So we know they're not 600 grit. Now, 400 grit, we used to polish out 400 grit, correct?
Yes, sir.
So we also know that those pigtails can't be 400 grit.
Yeah, so it has to be 320.
So it has to be in the 320. If those are the only three grits we used, we know it has to be in the 320. So, does 600 grit take out 320 grit?
No.
It will,
Yeah,
but it's going to take a lot of
long
time to get it out.
Take a long time to sand.
Now, what we also need to think of is this right here. There's a weld on this edge. So with that weld on that edge, if you bump it with a higher grit sandpaper, aka 400 or 600 grit, 400 and 600 grit, sometimes you can get a burr stuck in the piece of sandpaper, or get a chunk of metal shavings, anything stuck in there. And when you've got that stuck in there, it'll leave pigtails and curlicues. I'm really trying to get this on camera, but I'm really kind of struggling trying to get it to focus on it. I know you can kind of see it in the light right there, but it doesn't really want to focus on it. But a lot of those are really heavy pigtails. You can see one right there, that little mountain-shaped one. The sander just sometimes...
Right there.
Yep, that one right there. That's the one I'm looking at. So it really gets stuck in the sander, and when it's orbiting, it just chatters around. So what's our solution to fixing that, Ty?
Well, our solution is what you have to drop down to like 220.
Nope. I would not go that deep.
Because then when it's scratching more, so what you want to do is you would have to resand it with 320 and move your way back up, wouldn't it?
Yeah, so you could either resand it with 320, or since we know it's a 320, we can start with 400 and just work the 320 scratches
And
out.
just keep working it.
And then just go from 400 back to the 600.
So if I do that, do I have to repolish this whole thing again?
Yeah. For me, I would just redo it all.
Okay.
And honestly, what I would do is, it really looks great on this side here, except for this section right here. See, there's some back and forth pigtails. Let me see if we can focus in on that. You see those back and forths right there? I can tell you worked this spot to try and get this scratch out, and definitely got some of that scratch metal stuck in there. There we go. Now we can see it in the video. You guys see that? I hope you guys are seeing all that.
So then I just take 400 and just work it out again?
Yeah, so what I would do is I'd drop back down to either 400 and work just this section in 400.
Yep.
I would say maybe just here to here in 400, and then re-hit the whole thing in 600 and try and stay away from the welds. And then I just rebuff. Don't mind all these hash marks. It's a flat surface. We're going to come back across it and cut it the other way to line up all our stuff. But we flip them this way so that we can use the lighting to check for our pigtails and stuff. We definitely want to make sure there aren't any pigtails in our surfaces when we're done. There's multiple cut stages that are going to go on this throughout the process. It's going to be a lot more cut stages. But we cut 3 different patterns, one way, then another way, then another way, just to kind of smooth all this stuff up. And yeah, Ty, I got to tell you, you're making a lot of progress, buddy. And the fact that you're seeing it makes a big difference, because if you can see the pigtails, you can adjust the pigtails. And then eventually you start seeing this in your sanding process. Once you start seeing it in your sanding process, then you fix a lot of the issues.
Makes more sense.
Before you even start cutting, you'll see a lot of it in your sanding, and you'll be able to fix a lot of it in your sanding before you even get that far.
So it's all about just really working it slowly and such.
Yep. It's all about building up that heat. Like I told you a little while ago, the temperature in the shop was 60 degrees. It cut a lot better at 65, didn't it? Yeah, I mean, that's only 5 degrees. 5 degrees makes a huge, huge difference. But let me see if I can get really close here. Yeah, the lights are really screwing this up. You can't see it.
Yeah, you can see right there.
Oh, there you go. Hold your finger right there. All right, does everybody see all those pigtails? Now that it's focusing on your finger, you can actually see all those pigtails. That's awesome. But that's what we're looking at. So that's, if I had to guess, I'd guess it's a 320 pigtail. It's definitely not in the 400 or 600. But simple solution, resand it, buff it back out. Pretty much starting over. Sucks, but it is what it is. It's all part of the learning process, right, buddy?
You're right. A long learning process.
It's a struggle. I mean, Ty's been working here for just shy of 2 years.
Yeah,
and,
roughly.
Still learning. I mean, we train people most of the time in 2 to 3 days. Ty's barely spent maybe 3 solid days buffing on stuff that hasn't been supervised.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you're catching on. I mean, you're getting it really quick, and you're way further ahead than I thought you'd be, especially on something this big and flat. This stuff takes forever. I mean, it isn't easy.
It's freaking hard.
Flat stuff is the biggest struggle that most people have. I mean, Ty's been running the wheel machine for a long time. That stack of wheels over there is all him yesterday. Not an issue, but flat surfaces.
Yeah, this is an issue for me.
Flat surfaces suck. They're never a good time.
And I just have to, because I can see it up here. So now just reset.
Yeah, so some of those ones are just big hooks.
From
and honestly, what you could do is you could do a 600 rotary to get rid of all these, and then come back with just a 600 DA if you wanted to cut down some of your time.
You think that actually would work out over here, though?
I bet a 600 rotary would take a lot of this out.
Yeah.
Let me see if it focuses on my finger here again. But I bet a 600 rotary would take a lot of those swirls out. You can jump straight from a 320 DA to a 600 rotary. It will chew up some paper, but now that you've thrown some polish on it, you definitely can do like a 600 rotary and then a quick 600 DA.
Okay.
Because I like buffing over 600 DA. I'm not a real fan of buffing over rotary. I don't feel like it shines the way I'm happy with. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm not saying anybody's doing it wrong. I'm just saying, me personally, I'm not the biggest fan of buffing over rotary. I just don't feel like it shines as nice as it should.
Good.
But yeah, your sides come out great. Really come out fresh. I mean, I can see my shoe from way back here even. But yeah, you're getting there. Resand it, rebuff it. That's all there is to it.
Okay, I can get that done.
Thanks everybody for tuning into this first ever YouTube live video. It's snowing to beat all hell outside, so we're in here trying to get it done. I'm finishing up in the office and gonna be out here buffing shortly with Ty, trying to get this other box knocked out. So it sucks.
It does suck, but we'll get her done.
All right, thanks everybody.